You are about to witness an amazing woman, Lindsay Cohn, who all of her life has been performing at a top level. In her early years, she qualified for the U.S. ski team, and after traveling the world, went to the University of Denver, where she played not one, but two Division I level sports in both skiing and golf. From there, she went on to study business and finance and strategy and execution of all of that amazing knowledge, and is now pouring that into the Spartan Race, which is an active lifestyle company pushing you to the next level. Please welcome me in joining Lindsay Cohn.
Joining us this morning, Titania Jordan.
Tatiana Jordan. Did I get the name right? Jordan?
Titania.
Titania. Okay. All right.
It's Titania Jordan.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Today I am here with Lindsay Cohn, who, and I don't normally say bad words on this show, but she's a badass. Like, I'm gonna say that. Can I say that, Mike? Okay, I have Mike's approval. Like, totally. Talk about your early life leading up to the culmination of the University of Denver.
So I spent my high school years actually going to a ski academy in upstate Vermont, where we would spend part of the day skiing in the morning and then part of the day going to school. And so it was a balance of athletics and studying academics and trying to pursue both at top level. And so I raced around the world for about 2 years after high school, and everywhere from Chile to in South America to Europe and New Zealand. And so traveling around, experiencing different cultures and different scenery, everything like that, and being able to race at the top level and then still come back and be able to pursue an education was a dream of mine, and really what progressed into my career where I'm at right now and help get me to where I am right now.
What inner drive did you have to be able to do all of that? Was it all you? Was it your parents? Was it another influence in your life? Like how, because that's a lot. Not everybody has that drive.
Yeah, I think at a young age it was my parents, but also friends and family friends and just the culture that I grew up in, trying to just have fun with my friends and then just be better than them and be as good as them and push them to a higher level. And so just having fun with it is really what got me into the sport and those sports in general, and then just trying to keep getting better and trying to win and just make it to the next level and have those overarching goals of the U.S. ski team or the Olympics and the World Cup and stuff like that. So.
And the reason you were able to travel around the world was because you were part of the U.S. ski team.
Yeah, but also not only the U.S. ski team, but as a ski racer and a golfer, you travel around for tournaments and competitions. And so even before I qualified for the U.S. ski team, I was traveling around a lot, a good probably 4 months of the year where we were on different continents around the world.
And did your parents go with you, or?
No, they cheered for me just back at home.
Okay.
In East Coast in Vermont. So they would come to races occasionally across the U.S. and spectate and cheer my brother and I on, but mostly they were at home and doing their own thing, I guess, and supporting us from back
How
home.
old were you when you were traveling?
About my first travel overseas for skiing was around 11 or so 11, 12 years old. So
that's
it's pretty
amazing.
young. Yeah, and so I grew up in high school. I lived away from home and at a boarding school, and so we would travel. I basically became best friends with everyone I went to school with, and so it was almost a family away from home, and we would support each other, and we were one community in a sense, to help grow as a person and athlete and everything. And so that's really what helped elevate my game and learn how to be successful in some areas.
Wow.
So
And are you still friends with the people you went to school with?
I am, yeah. It's definitely high school. It was a very small school, about 60 students total. So we're all very, very close. They live all over the world now. So it's definitely, I don't see them every day or every month, but when we do see each other, it's like we never missed a beat. So
yeah.
they're awesome.
And I mean, thanks to Facebook and Instagram,
yeah.
it's
yeah.
like you basically know everything that's going on in their lives.
Right, exactly. Yeah, still stay close with social media. So,
Yep, the good and the bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so you traveled around the world
Mm-hmm.
from a young age, and you ultimately decided on University of Denver.
Correct.
And why is that?
So I really wanted to be able to continue to race at a high level, but also golf was a huge passion of mine. So being able to play both sports and be around other athletes that were pursuing their passions at a high level as well, just it was cool to be part of a athletic community like that, but still people who are trying to pursue their education and develop their career and be in Denver was something else as well. Just a great community there and city and the mountains and scenery and everything like that. So it was a mix between athletics and the education and living in Denver.
So as someone who has, shocker,
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
never won a medal for sports, never scored the winning basket or field goal, or I don't know what that's like. I don't know that feeling of just like killing it in the athletic space. What does it feel like? Tell us.
Yeah, so it's addicting, I guess. First of all, once you have a good run or have a good hole in golf, or you nail that shot in whatever sport it might be, it's exhilarating feeling that you want to be able to repeat.
Yeah.
And so in my opinion, you're looking to improve yourself and get back to have that feeling again, and not only have that feeling, but have it every time, not just this once in a blue moon type thing. Yeah, exactly.
That's what would have happened if it would have been me. Total fluke.
But it's fun not only to have in college, to have teammates to support you and accomplish it all together. And I think that it's once you set a goal, it's whether it's to make the World Cup or win this medal or this trophy or whatever in your sport, part of the fun is sometimes the process and how long it took you. You don't realize at the end, after you try hard enough, you do accomplish your goal, and you look back at all of the effort and the time that it took to get there, and that's sometimes more the joy than actually getting the trophy or the medal or the end result. And so it's a mix between the two, and that's really the joy and the excitement in it all. So
it's awesome. Yeah. So did you from a young age know that you had ability that was better than most, or would you say it's part natural to you and then part the training?
I think for me it was more the training. I think that took a lot of practice and a lot of time to get to where I was in both golf and skiing and some of the other sports that I do. But it was definitely, the first day that I set foot on snow or in a course, I was never at the level that I finished 10 years later at. And so I think that it took just day in, day out, just setting a goal and then trying to work on little things and not focus on that goal until a few years down the road. And so I think for me it wasn't so much about the raw talent, it was more about the process and trying to, some of my peers did have, even at a young age, had raw talent that it was crushing at times when they would be faster than me or shoot a better score than me, but they didn't practice at all, or they just didn't really have their heart in it, but they were naturally talented. And so I think that over time I was able to perform a little bit better than them in the long run, just through sticking with it and continuing to focus on how I'm gonna improve, and just that's what helped me over time.
I love that. That's so encouraging for everybody watching out there. Like my son Jackson's like, Mom, I try so hard, but I'm just not the fastest in my class. And I'm like, it's all right, dude. Like, you just keep trying. You just keep trying, and every little bit, every little practice, every little step helps.
Because even thinking way back when I was about 12 or 14 years old, there were girls, and even on the guys' side, that would win everything, whether it's whatever sport it was, even soccer and other sports that I played, and thinking about just watching them over time, a few years down the road, they burn out pretty quick, and they didn't keep progressing. And I've learned that it's more about you do have to have some talent, and I think that just cultivating the talent with practice and persistence is what gets you to your goals.
Talk about mindset, because we've talked a lot about the physical aspects, the training and that sort of thing, but a lot of it's mental too, right?
Right.
How do you stay mentally focused?
Right. So for me, my coaches definitely helped with that, and a lot of them knew, the time when to relax and enjoy and everything like that, and the other time to stay focused and grind and really focus on the end result and the process. And so I think that was one component, but another component was just learned over time, and knowing when I needed to get myself in the zone, when I needed to, under pressure, be able to hold it together and just learn from my mistakes. Like sometimes when you had the race or the tournament in your hands, and you're a couple gates or a couple holes away from winning the thing, and all of a sudden you thought about the end result, and then it just slipped away from you, and I've crashed a gate before the finish, and it happens, but you learn from that, and sometimes it's crushing at times, but in the end, as long as you're learning from it and making sure that you're not doing it every time, and that you're continuing to improve, then it happens. But I think the other thing for me was being able to balance golf and skiing. They're very mental sports, and so golf helped me. I knew that when I was in my element in golf and able to mentally control, not the outcome, but mentally control how I was performing, then it would help in the following season. Just I could see a difference. Just it was my way of training mentally for skiing.
Wow. So, yeah, I only know a little bit about being in the zone. I have felt it once. Yeah. I was running, and I wasn't thinking about how much it sucked and how bad it hurt and like how long have I been doing this and how much do I have left. I was like, this is awesome. I could keep going. And it was like mile 3, mile 4. Never felt it again, but like I'm confident that it will come back one day. But it was amazing to be able to be enjoying physical exertion and like feeling good about it. So, man, that's awesome. Another thing that helps me too when I'm in pain, I'm dying, like I cannot do another rep, is I think about Navy SEALs and people in other arms of service who say when you feel like there's nothing left, you still have at least 10%.
Right.
It's mental. You just have to dig down deep and push harder.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what, Titania, you're not in like a freezing bay of water. Like, you're in a gym with air conditioning. Like, you can do this. So
yeah, that's what I actually at my current company, which we have obstacle course races around the world, and with this, they're called Spartan Races, and so I've learned that a lot of times, just as you were talking about the Navy SEALs, like that, there is just one foot in front of the other, and you'll get it done. And we, through my training over the years, a lot of the time with friends and teammates, you're able to, without so much emphasis on what exactly they were trying to get at, just cheering you on and helping you, come on, you got this, encouragement and everything like that. We, in a way, were trying to accomplish the same thing that some of, indirectly, I guess, some of the SEAL teams are doing, just by cheering each other on and realizing that, okay, maybe like it's done in 30 seconds, just 30 seconds of pain, and then you're done. And I think that looking back now, we were doing the same thing. Just you don't really realize it always could be worse, I guess. And so just learning in training and everything like that, how to push through that, and that sometimes mind is your mind is your biggest obstacle.
Yeah, mind over matter.
Yeah.
Whether you're working out or flying.
Right. So a lot of times you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad, and after the fact. And so using friends and coaches and people like that to help you over that hurdle or that mind block, it has been a huge influence for me.
It's awesome.
So,
it's awesome.
Right.
I want to talk about Spartan Race in a second, and your background in the investment space.
Right.
But I have one more question about like athletics, and because I've kind of gotten back into the workout thing lately.
Right.
That's another story. But so beyond playing more golf and skiing and doing the typical things like weight training and conditioning, what are some unique ways that you've kind of kept your body conditioned for the various ways you'll be moving it? Is it plyometrics, yoga, Pilates, like?
Yeah, so for me, it's been about strength, flexibility, so mobility, or I use yoga for that part of the pyramid, and then the other thing would just be cardio as well. So those three things. And so as I've entered the corporate world, or progressed after skiing and college and everything like that, I've focused on those three things. And so for me, time is of the essence, and so I only have so many hours in the day, so I try to be as most efficient as I can with working out, and I've resorted to CrossFit workouts just because I've found that working out with friends and working out with other people really holds you accountable. Yeah. And the benefit to CrossFit, I think, is that you can scale to your own ability, and as long as you hold yourself, you know your boundaries and everything and your limitations, then you can work with the coach in the class and make sure that you're not injuring something or doing using too much weight or so on. And so I've used CrossFit as a good way to improve my strength and then improve my cardio as well, and then worked on yoga and stuff like that for my flexibility and mobility on the side. And so I've tried to still stay in shape through other outdoor activities like biking and kiteboarding and tennis and stuff like that, so that you are, in my opinion, you're having fun, but you still are getting a good workout in. And so that's, as I've lived in the city for the last few years, or different cities, I've tried to still have an emphasis on those sports, or sports in general, of that staying in shape that way.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Yeah.
And then diet, do you abstain from alcohol, eat anything special, or just everything in moderation? Everything in moderation, I would say. Occasional drinking, I guess, and occasional, I try not to eat too much gluten or too many carbs, but it's hard at times with meetings and stuff like that, and so you just need to make sure that you know what you need in your diet, and then make sure you hold yourself accountable. And let's talk about that for a minute. Meetings. People that schedule meetings and order the food for the meetings, if y'all could please do me a solid and less bagels and croissants and more vegetables, it would be a lot easier for people like me who have a hard time saying no to cake. Right. So that's where I've noticed that if you don't have it in front of you, it's so much easier to not eat it. And so if you're diligent and you know what you need in your diet, then I think that it's so much easier to maintain a healthier lifestyle. Absolutely, yeah. You have a company, right? I work for a company. You work for a company. Correct. Called Spartan Race. Correct. And that's your full-time now? Yeah, that's my full-time role. Okay. And tell me what you do for them. So I help them out with strategy and planning, and basically helping the company try to minimize costs and increase revenue. So we're a growing startup. We've been in the industry for 5+ years and trying to get people living a healthier, active life. I love that. So are you nationwide or global? Or? We're global, actually. Bam! Yeah, that's right. Pretty cool. Yeah. That's so cool. Yeah, it's a cool product that
basically trying to pull people off the couch and have them living not only a healthier life, but eating better and staying active and everything like that.
So could someone like me do the Spartan Race?
Definitely. It's all levels, all abilities, everything like that. We have people who signed up and it's their first race, to people who are experienced and trying to win the race. So some people, it might take them on a 5-mile course 7 hours or so, and other people are trying to win it in 40 minutes. And it's all really about what your experience level is, what your goal is, and just trying to accomplish something more. So if it's trying to win it, then that's where you are, and other people, it's just trying to get one step after another and be able to finish it. And so for finishing it, being able to finish it is a huge accomplishment. And so just helping people try to realize their goals and find meaning in what they want to accomplish.
So walk me through what I could expect if I'm like, all right, Titania, you're going to do this. You're going to do the Spartan Race. What does it look like? What am I actually going to be doing?
Right. So it varies on the distance that you choose. We have about 3 or 4 different core distances.
Let's talk about the shortest distance.
Yeah. So the shortest one is about 5 miles long, and we also have another series, which is a stadium series, which we have the Fenway Stadium, we have Dodgers, we have about 10 different stadiums around the U.S. And so those go up and down the stairs in the stadium. And those, you don't get as dirty or really dirty at all in mud and so on. And so they're more of our entry-level product. And so those are a lot of fun. And the 5-mile one that you get a little dirty in the woods is an outdoor course where you have about 15 to 25 obstacles or so, and anything from a rope climb to a spear throw to a box jump, what else? A bucket carry. Those are the core obstacles, and so you can do it with friends or you can do it alone, and it's just 5,000 or 7,000 people a day signing up for this race, and
wow,
and a huge community. So it's fun in the sense that it's similar, in my opinion, to CrossFit, where you have a group of people to do it with and to hold you accountable and make sure that you're not skipping the workout and making sure that you're getting strong enough to be able to do the race. And so,
Mike, should we do one?
Yeah.
Like, I'm dead serious. Let's talk about this later. Like, give me a couple months to train.
You should.
And like, that would be so much fun, right?
Yeah.
How much does it cost?
So the tickets range for the entry level one, the shorter 5-mile distance, about 80 to 150.
Okay, that's
level.
totally reasonable.
Yeah. So, and we have about 100 or so races around the U.S. Wow. And about that internationally as well.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, like, that's so cool. And has the popularity of shows like American Ninja Warrior kind of helped propel the popularity of real tangible things people can participate in like this?
I think so. I think the sport in general, obstacle course racing, is growing. I think it's one of the fastest growing sports out there right now. So it's cool to be in the outdoor industry and be part of the community growing athletics and active lifestyle.
I love it. I love it. We spend too much time sitting at desks. Like, we've already been sitting too long.
Right.
Like, I'm getting antsy. Like, you got to always be moving, right? And just to get outside, like, get out in front of your screens, like, get, and live like you're a kid again, like, but a kid forever, It's great. It's inspiring, and I love that. So if people want to learn more about the Spartan Race, what website should they visit?
So they can go directly to SpartanRace.com.
Nice URL. That's easy to remember. I love that.
So check it out and sign up.
Awesome. And then in my notes, I read something that was really, really compelling to me, called The Athlete's Dilemma. Like, how do you live without a coach when you've had one for a majority of your life? And how do you find a partner who has the same kind of drive as you? And just talk about like that and where you are right now in regards to all of that. Right.
So coming out of college, it was a huge eye opener, I guess, to be able to figure out not only what I was passionate about, but also having having someone to hold me accountable and tell me, you know, what I should do, how much I should be doing of this piece of work, or what I should be studying, or what I should be reading, and so on. So it was hard coming out of school to figure out not only what path I wanted to take, and I guess I'm still trying to figure that out.
We all are.
Yeah, but figure out, you know, provide that guidance of, yeah, what I should wear every day to work, or I mean, not so much that, but what I should be reading, what material I should be studying, how much time I should spend here, and so on. So I think another big thing is finding, a lot of times people find a mentor, and that mentor guides them through the process. But it's hard at times to be given that advice. Same as, you know, when I grew up ski racing, it was all about, okay, you need to make sure you train, you get 5 runs in this course, or we're going to go to this location and then a lot of times my coach was there to support me and to guide my whole season, and he had the same goals as me in terms of what I wanted to achieve, you know, in that season or in the 2 years that he was my coach, and then the overarching goals of, you know, make the US ski team or make the World Cup and so on. And in my career, you know, right out of school, I didn't have that support, just of, this is what you want to do, and this is your 3-year plan, this is your 5-year plan, so on. And so it was running into the wild, I guess, with no direction. And so over time, I've figured out of some of those elements, but it's definitely still an evolving process of trying to figure out what I want and making sure I have the right resources and game plan to get there.
So you say you figured it out a little bit. Can you share, like, what are the things you figured out in regards to how you kind of be your own coach moving forward? Right.
I think that it's figuring out what I'm passionate about, what my goal is, and then just making sure. So for me, it would be maintaining a healthy, active lifestyle, and so that's one piece. And within that, making sure I'm eating right, making sure I'm getting enough sleep and staying active and all of that. And then with regards to my career and career development and everything like that, I think it's making sure, you know, I'm continuing to ask mentors of mine, you know, what books or what classes should I take, or what resources I need to make sure that I get that. It would be similar in sports to make sure I get that training to make sure that I have the skill base to be successful. And so it's continuing, in my experience, it's just continuing to evolve, because as I figure out what I want to do in, you know, my 3, 5, 20-year plan, it's making sure I have the resources and the skill base to get there. And so I think, just like in you know, athletics, it doesn't come overnight. You build your skill base over time, and just as you know, you're a lacrosse player or something like that, you need to go home at night and work on that one lacrosse shot that you screwed up in the game. Same thing in my career. I'm learning that, you know, you work on something and it didn't quite go right, and so you need to go spend some time, you know, figuring out how to financial model or something like that, or tweak this one thing, and then making sure you have mentors to ask the right questions and provide that support, I think, is the biggest thing that I'm learning.
I sense a lot of patience from you. You have to be, I think, patient to see the vision of the long term versus the short term. I think that's something I need to work on too, is I want everything to happen right now. All the things right now. And it is so true that you need to see that there is a 3, 5, 10, 20-year plan, and not everything can happen right now. Everything happens for a reason. Learn what you can, reach out to mentors. And on that note, is there anything, you know, maybe somebody really awesome is watching right now? I mean, all of you who are watching right now are really awesome, by the way, but like somebody who can maybe help you. So is there anything that you're looking for right now in regards to taking your business or career to the next level that you're looking for?
I would say the biggest thing is I'm trying to basically tie business with athletics. So I'm getting the business experience right now, the last few years, of just how to, from an operating sense of how to run a company and how to invest in a company and what are some of the things you look at and manage and evaluate. And I have, from my year skiing and golf, the athletic experience, and so just being able to tie the two and find something that, you know, works and blends the two together is my goal. So
awesome. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much for being here, for flying to Atlanta.
Yeah, of course.
For this interview, and you are so inspirational. It's just an honor to meet you and know you, and I can't wait to see what big things you do in the future.
Yeah, thank you so much.